Hello, welcome to Bloodhaus, the show where we talk about art house horror movies. I'm your host, Joshua Conkel.
And I'm your surgery victim, Drusilla Adeline, and welcome to another episode of Bloodhaus, Josh.
Hello! Today we are joined by a very special guest. She is the host of the Tender Subject podcast. She's our favorite thing out of Philadelphia besides cream cheese. It is Kayte Terry. Hi, Kate.
Hi. I love that intro.
Yeah. Do you know, I lived in Philadelphia for a while when I was little. I don't really remember it that well because I was in the first grade, but I remember I lived in South Philly, and I remember that my dad got really into hoagies because we're Southern, and so that was new. And I remember just like everyone being Italian in that very cliche 80s way where like, you know, leopard skin leggings and big hoop earrings and all that good stuff.
It's still kind of like that, honestly. I live in South Philly too.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. But I feel like South Philly is in like a little bit of a time bubble for the like Italians who have lived here forever. There's like a lot of new immigrant populations that have moved here, which is like really interesting. But for the old school like Italian Irish folks, I think it's been like the late 70s forever. It hasn't changed.
I love
and
that.
Yeah, we like to say hoagie. That's the South
right.
Philly. The South Philly accent.
That's so
Get a
funny.
hoagie.
Water.
Get a hoagie, hun. Yeah. We call everyone hun. It's great.
It's very related to the Baltimore accent.
So yes, very much. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I love living in Philly. It's like a dirty, for like artsier version of New York, I think. Like,
yeah. I lived in New York for 15 years and I love New York, but I don't know. Like when they made that Maniac remake, they moved it to downtown LA and someone asked Elijah Wood why. And he was like, because that's what's gritty now. Like there's no part of New York that's gritty anymore.
It's true. I mean, especially Manhattan. Like nothing about Manhattan is gritty.
For sure.
At all.
I mean, you have to go really far out in Brooklyn or to like the Bronx if you want to see anything gritty.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Philly is just like, you arrive and it like punches you in the face.
Your mascot literally is named Gritty.
Yeah, that's true. We defend him with our lives.
Yeah, as you are.
Yeah,
he's the same.
Our mascots are crazy monsters. Like we've got the Fanatic and we've got Gritty.
I love the Philly Fanatic. Who, if legend tells, is a lost undersea prince who needs to get back to his kingdom. I.e. the 30 Rock lore.
Amazing. Yeah. He's also supposedly a bird, which I've never really... I don't buy
that.
Yeah. Somebody told me that recently.
I mean, he kind of looks like a kiwi or an ostrich or like one of those furry birds, but
that are not native to Philly.
Yeah. Couldn't be further away. But yeah, I love our mascots. They're good guys.
They seem it. Very down to earth, salt of the earth.
Yeah, they're workers. Yeah.
Yeah. Union mascots. You host a podcast about cannibalism. So give us like one or two of your favorite cannibal movies.
Okay. Raw.
I put you on the spot.
No, it's okay. I would say Raw is a big
Raw.
favorite.
That was a good one.
I love Raw. It's such a beautiful movie. I mean, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Classic cannibal film. We just talked about Ravenous, which is a really good
with David Arquette.
movie. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
It kind of like flew under the radar. It was a huge box office flop, like humongous. But I think it's like worth a rewatch. You know, it's like a bunch of maybe queer men living in like the mountains in California, and like they have to start eating each other. Like, what's better than that?
It's like a period movie.
Ooh, that sounds great.
It's like the cast is crazy. It's like Jeremy Davies, Robert Carlyle, Guy Pearce, David Arquette,
Jeffrey Jones,
pedophile Jeffrey Jones,
who has been in like, the more I've been thinking about it, has been in so many movies. He was in Amadeus. Like, what is
Yeah. And speaking of the Old West, in the pandemic and the darkness of it, I watched for the first time Deadwood, and he was in Deadwood.
Such a good show.
A lot of great character actors were in that show. Yeah,
that was an incredible show. Yeah, what other? I'm like, Kate, you host a podcast about cannibalism.
That's okay. I mean, I totally put you on the spot. Have you ever seen the Bob Balaban film Parents?
I haven't, but people have been asking for that one, and I love Bob Balaban.
You should do it. It's really funny. I liked it a lot as a kid. I haven't watched it in probably 20 years, but I used to love it. It's got a lot of style, great sets and costumes.
Nice.
It's like this, suburbia in the 50s. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Isn't it Randy Quaid the lead in that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob Balaban directed it, wrote and directed it.
I love
Nothing
it.
says charming cannibal like Randy Quaid. No, what kind of character does he play? What's the role?
A perfect suburban dad who just happens to secretly be a psychotic cannibal.
I love that. That is like that's our wheelhouse. Yeah, and obviously I love all of like the Hannibal verse, and I just rewatched Manhunter. So we'll have to do that one at some point.
Oh yeah.
Because there's the
Michael Mann film.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's the like Criterion synth soundtrack feature this month, and so I've been like watching all of those. And
every single
movie
in that collection is phenomenal.
Yes.
How do you feel about the more transgressive ones like Cannibal Holocaust?
It's not my thing, I guess. Like we will definitely talk about it. I don't think it's my I'm definitely more of like an art house babe. Like I have a really weird aversion to B movies that I don't really understand where it came from. It like I have this like weird revulsion thing about them, and
really?
And I'm working on trying to get over that. We just had someone come on and talk about Blood Feast, which is a great movie.
Oh yeah, H.G. Lewis.
Yeah.
Classic.
And like we got a ton out of it once we like delved into it, because there's all this stuff about like Egyptomania and like colonization, and I think like that's where like if we talked about Cannibal Holocaust, I think we would talk about like we would not shy away from like the problematic, fucked up, like, can I swear? Okay, cool.
Of course you fucking can.
Like,
excuse me, this is a family show.
A family show.
We've been talking about cannibalism for 10 minutes now, but you can't swear.
Yeah, a family show about art house theater. I mean, I watched art house films when I was a kid, because my parents were like library geeks, so we just like watched what you could rent in the library. So like I watched Blue Velvet when I was like 12.
I'm the same thing. I'm the same way.
But yeah, I think like if we watched movies, if we talk about a movie like that, which I feel like we're gonna have to, because it's just like,
especially you cover cannibal movies.
It's part of the
a lot of them are
canon.
B-movies.
Yeah,
there's literally a genre of Italian cannibal movies that's all like. But they're all so deeply like stuck in that like kind of racist view of like quote unquote native cannibal tribe like subgenre, which is sticky to say the least, and most of those movies aren't fun.
Yeah, and I mean I want to talk about them. They're not like necessarily I'm not gonna watch them with a ton of enjoyment, I guess. So it's like I'm like, okay, let's watch Raw 1,000 times, because I don't mind, like French Extremity is fine, but like
sure, yeah.
And I actually got a lot out of talking about Blood Feast, because we had someone on, Kyle, who's like one of the Horror Vanguard hosts, who loves that like genre of film, and had so many like incredibly smart things to say about it. So
yeah, I think one of the things that we talk about a lot on that show is the point at which like schlock and art house overlap, which kind of happens a lot in different decades, but it's an interesting place.
It's true,
sure.
yeah.
Have you seen anything cool lately, cannibal movie or otherwise?
So like I said, I've been going into the synth soundtrack category on Criterion a lot. I watched Manhunter last week. I watched Thief right before that, which I had never seen before, and I feel like I have like a major like gap in my film knowledge of like that kind of like late 70s early 80s movie that I'm like trying to fill in now. Like I just saw Sorcerer also, which I had never seen before.
Oh yeah, I just saw that for the first time too. Yeah.
That movie was so insanely tense. It's crazy. But yeah, those movies are amazing, and I just like I guess I just didn't really I'm very like high femme, and I feel like I have missed a lot of like guy movies. Yeah, like dudes rock movies.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, so
that's exactly how I feel too. I never wanted to watch anything like that as a kid because it was like for boys,
right?
You see a giant truck dangling over a rope bridge and you're like, dudes do rock. Dudes in fact do rock.
Right, but I used to be like, no,
I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how to drive, not for me. Like I want to watch a movie where people are putting bows on things or like bleeding, I don't know, profusely, but yeah, I'm like very much a another cannibal movie I love is like The Cook, the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. I feel like that's my kind of movie. Yeah. So I've watched so many of those kinds of movies, but yeah, now I'm trying to fill in the dudes movies.
Do you know what is a great dudes movie? Is the first Steven Spielberg movie, Duel. Have you ever seen that? I just saw it for the first time. It's so good. It's just one long car chase through the desert in basically silence. There's like no dialogue. It's just a giant truck torturing this man who's on a road trip. And it's really stressful and really fun. And I recommend it.
I bought it based off your recommendation, Josh. I still haven't watched it yet. I need to.
It's really fun. Really good.
I'm also going to say if you really liked Sorcerer and you really liked Thief and Manhunter, you should watch To Live and Die in LA if you haven't.
I haven't. All right, I'm putting it on my list.
Because it's from William Friedkin, who made Exorcist and Sorcerer and Cruising. But it's William Peterson from Manhunter, and it's like super 80s cop aesthetic. But the villain is Willem Dafoe, who frequently likes to get naked. His girlfriend has a girlfriend, and the soundtrack is by Wang Chung.
Incredible. Yeah.
So specific.
It's so good.
I think I didn't realize like how queer some of these movies were. Like because I watched Cruising because I'm like, well, that's a gay movie, so I'll watch that. But then
I love Cruising so much.
Never really like delved in enough. Like I just assumed they were like extremely straight man movies, and I was like, no, not for me.
Manhunter, especially after having watched the Brian Fuller Hannibal show, and then if you watch Manhunter right after like Cruising, you're gonna come off being like, oh, this is a lot gayer.
It is. It's so gay. And the tiger, like that part, I'm still thinking about the showing a blind woman a tiger. Like, just sort of out of the blue. Like, there's not really a lot of exposition on, like, why the tiger is in the movie. But, like, I'm glad he's in the movie.
That whole movie is, like, the setup and creation of the entire, like, Miami Vice aesthetic that Michael Mann eventually created. And so, like, garish, like, like Easter palette Miami colors, and then like a fucking tiger and like a giant mirrored room, and then we're gonna play like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida like at full length, like
which people thought was
so fun,
quote unquote, too much. But it's like, it was. I think that's part of it.
That's the fun.
Yeah.
What about you, Drusilla? Have you seen anything cool lately?
Yeah, I had, speaking of girly movies, I had and art house movies, I had a really lovely date night recently where we went to the New Beverly, obviously the theater that Quentin Tarantino owns here in Hollywood, one of 2 or 3 that he owns here in Hollywood. And they had a lot of Pride related programming, and they were doing a Fassbender double bill that my girlfriend asked me if we could go to, which is like the most romantic thing you can say to me.
That's your love language.
True. Watching Fassbender movies together truly is deeply, deeply romantic. And so we went to go see The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant together.
Oh, that's lovely.
Which is one of my favorite movies. And it's the only Fassbender Ivory had seen before. But she was like, they're showing it. We should go see it. And I was like, yes. Then I want to show you more of his stuff later. But yes, it was so great to see that movie in a theater, because it's so fucking beautiful. Every single composition in that movie is fucking insane. But also it's so melodramatic, and the dialogue is like, and their behavior is genuinely like crosses that line of like melodrama, camp, and comedy. So like seeing it with an audience, hearing them like tense up when she throws a glass, and then hearing them laugh when she calls her daughter a fucking bastard, like it's great.
Did you see that video recently where someone asked Jeff Goldblum on the red carpet who he would have lunch with from any movie, and he is silent for a really uncomfortably long time, and then he goes, with his big bug eyes, he goes, Petra von Kant from The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant. You could tell the, like, I don't know, 25-year-old person with the microphone is like, I have no idea what this man is talking about. It's so charming.
I saw that. I think it was at the Met Gala or something like that.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
honestly,
something like that.
And honestly, he's right. He is
right.
deeply, deeply right. She's not an emotionally or psychologically well-balanced woman, we'll say, but I love her. I relate to her, and I would like to hang out with her.
Fun for lunch.
So I get it.
Just for a lunch.
Fun for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. One lunch. I've been watching some, speaking of Kate, some B movies lately.
Okay.
I watched the new French Netflix movie Under Paris, which is about,
I've heard about this.
Sharks in the Seine River. It's so stupid. Quickly reproducing mega sharks.
I've heard
it's
this. Yes.
So stupid. It is the craziest CGI you've ever seen. The dialogue is horrible. It's all in French, and it's in Paris, which gives it a little bit of class, but it's like sort of comforting that the French are just as stupid as we are. Like, you know, French cinema has like such a hallowed space in like discussions around film, and it's like fun to be reminded that they're idiots like we are and can also make piece of shit movies like Under Paris. It's really fun to watch. I mean, I watched it with a group of friends and we just laughed through it, and it's pretty fun. And then the other thing I saw is a 80s horror movie that I'd never heard of, and to be honest, that's kind of rare because I spent my whole 80s childhood just like watching 80s horror on VHS. I would go to the video store and get like 3 tapes and watch them all. And so this was on Tubi. I've been spending a lot of time on Tubi lately, to be honest.
He's having his Tubi time.
Yeah. And apparently it is the most used streaming service in America over Netflix.
Damn.
Even.
I saw that.
It's free.
Not surprising. It's free.
Yeah.
So anyway, I watched this 80s horror movie I'd never heard of called One Dark Night, which stars
with Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly, who's so cute in it.
Mm-hmm.
And E.G. Daly from Valley Girl is in it and really cute.
Adam West in it?
Adam West is in it. He's quite bad in it. I just never heard of it. It's filmed in LA in the 80s, which is always fun. You get a lot of the Santa Monica Pier. And then the killer is like the ghost of an occultist who had really strong telepathy. And so the movie is set in a mausoleum. They dare Meg Tilly to stay the night in a mausoleum if she wants to be one of the popular girls, which is such an 80s plotline. But then they're going to sneak into the mausoleum and try to scare her. But they don't know that an occultist telepathist has been buried there that very day, and they disturb his grave. And so there's no actual killer. It's just his telekinetic power let loose throughout the mausoleum. So, like the drawers, I don't know what those are called, like the mausoleum drawers will open and like bodies pop out of them. And then the bodies are just, I don't know, they're not moving, but they're like flying around the corridors, like someone's playing with dolls, It's really stupid. It's super stupid, really fun. I love E.G. Daily from Valley Girl, and she has such a weird part because they're driving to the mausoleum and she's like, this is a bad idea, I'm not gonna go, and then she gets out of the car and just isn't in the rest of the movie. It's like, why did you write this? Why did you write this? It's so weird. It feels so incompetent in a delightfully 80s way. Oh my god, but I did forget to mention one crazy thing about Under Paris that I thought was so funny, which is that it opens with a quote about survival of the fittest, and then it says, based on the works of Charles Darwin. And it's like, you couldn't find an actual quote from Charles Darwin. You just like summarized his whole thing to be your opening quote. It's just like, I know I'm getting into something really specially stupid here. I love it.
That's incredible.
Anyway, so those are the two B movies that I watched this week.
Oh my god!
I will make an exception. A B movie based on an animal, I feel like, is something that I will always make an exception. Like sharks.
It's pretty fun.
Alligator
is a good one if you haven't seen it.
Alligators, piranhas.
Love Anaconda.
Yeah.
Piranha's so fucking fun. Oh my god.
I mean, a really fun project that I did in 2020 is to like watch as many rip-offs of a popular film as you can. So I did it with Jaws, of which there are like so dozens and dozens of Jaws rip-offs. And then another fun one is Alien. There's like a ton of really cheap, shitty rip-offs of Alien. And Conan the Barbarian, there's lots of really trashy 80s sword and sandal movies that are a lot of fun.
There's a really good YouTube series I've been watching lately that's by a guy who wrote a book specifically on this topic, but he makes YouTube videos about those specific niche ones called Borrowing Blockbusters, and he'll do like, here's every movie that's Jawsploitation, here's every movie that's ripped off Jaws, and here's why it's like either actually good or actually like terrible and why you should watch it for it being terrible. And he's done Jaws, he's done all the Alien knockoffs, he's done all like the Raiders of the Lost Ark knockoffs, and there's like myriad all the like Die Hard knockoffs. It's a very, very fun way to like kill your time during the day and be like, look at all these bad movies I don't want to watch. And then every now and then you're like, oh, but that one sounds good. Oh shit. Anna Nicole Smith in a Die Hard knockoff? I want to watch that.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, today we are here to talk about a good movie. It is a movie that Kate chose for us, but a movie that we should have talked about probably before. We've talked about this director 2 or 3 times. We did talk about this movie when it came out in like our intro section because we'd both seen it. It's a movie that we both love. From 2022, directed by David Cronenberg, we're discussing Crimes of the Future.
I can feel you pulling things around in there.
It's a brand new organ. Never before seen. We've all felt that the body was empty. Empty of meaning. And we've wanted to confirm that, so that we could fill it with meaning.
The world is a much more dangerous place now that pain has all but disappeared.
So, Kate, what are your like kind of headline thoughts about this movie? I assume you saw it in the theater in 2022, like we did.
I saw it in the theater 3 times, and then I couldn't stop, and then I saw it again when it came out in streaming, and then I watched it again yesterday. And this is a movie that like I think affected, which I mean, this makes sense that because Cronenberg is such a like embodied director, this is a movie that I think affected me on like a deep bodily level, and like later I spent a lot of time thinking about it, but I'm an artist, so like a movie about art making and like how that figures into like politics and being an agent of change and like whether that's possible or not. I think like figures really heavily into this movie. And then also I have type 1 diabetes and I wear an insulin pump. So like I kind of feel like the whole like new organ growth story makes a lot of sense to me because I wear like a fake organ basically like attached to my body.
Yeah. Oh, so interesting.
Yeah.
And I never would have connected that.
So yeah, like this movie, I think like those two things I like identified it with it immediately. And then there's just like every time you watch this movie, I feel like there's a new thread to pull. I think Cronenberg is like I don't want to gush too much because this is like one of my favorite movies ever, I think. But and it's hard not to gush. It's hard to just be critical about it because it's so great. But yeah, I think it's just there's so much in there, and he's like at his most mature and thinking about like his own output also. Like I think the movie is a lot about like his work and the type of often like men that he has as his like, you know, protagonist, hero figure or whatever, and how those like change in his later career from like a very you know, like a more kind of like chaotic character who is like ready to just sort of annihilate like in Videodrome or something like that, to a character that is like sort of gradually comes to like understand and accept things about their body.
Yes. I mean, this movie is kind of like an old man movie. You know what I mean? Not in a good way, I would say. It's the kind of movie that you can only write as an older person. It has that kind of wisdom to it. Drusilla, I was so interested in Kayte's observation about insulin and this movie. And I know that you and other trans people have likened it to like a trans narrative, which is similar in a lot of ways.
Very, very much so. The moment I saw this movie, I got really, really, really excited because it's literally like a subversive group being hunted by the government because they have too much autonomy over their bodies and are changing their bodies against the wishes of the government for both artistic and sexual pleasure. And I'm like, that's literally trans existence. Like fetishizing surgery. Like it's so deeply, deeply, deeply fascinating to me. And of course, like obviously, like body politic is something that like Cronenberg has been working through for his entire oeuvre, and that's another thing that kind of comes into this movie is that like it deepens the more you have a like larger understanding of Cronenberg's output. But like he's clearly interested in these ideas, and so also as an you know, a man of a certain age, I'm sure he also experiences plenty health concerns himself at this point and has to deal with a lot of different, and we don't know that. We're not his doctors, we're not his like family. So
well, it's safe to assume he's a man of a certain, you know what I mean? Like exactly. I'm in my 40s, I'm significantly younger than him, but I'm still experiencing some of those things. Like this part hurts and that part aches, and you know what I mean? And your health just is guaranteed to decline. It doesn't matter how healthy or fit you are. It is just a part of aging. And this, in some ways, to me, feels like a movie about aging.
It's very much a movie about aging, but it's very easy to make a movie about aging where it's like from like a young filmmaker's perspective. If you look at something like X or something, where like, isn't it so horrifying? Or like the M. Night Shyamalan movie Old, where like, look, they're getting old. Oh no, they're getting old. The beach made them old. But in this, it's more like these are things with their body. They all have different things with their body, and they have moved past pain, so they have the ability to do whatever they want to their bodies. And that is now a political issue. Like it's both a political issue and a like canvas on which to make art. And that in 2022, now 2024, feels like a direct trans narrative to me.
No, I think it totally can be read that way for sure. And like Cronenberg himself was like, yeah, I'm down with that reading, which is cool. I mean, it doesn't have to
I've seen people bring it up to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always been one of the queerest filmmakers who is a man with a wife. I mean, he's famously kissing Viggo Mortensen on the lips in like every Q&A they do.
I love it. I think it could also be read as like, you know, a dying like late capitalism movie that you know, the idea of like these new bodies that are able to process plastic. And like I'm thinking about this even more this last time I watched it than before, because like the news is literally constantly telling us how much microplastics we have in our bodies already. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this isn't really that far from where we're at, except that like we haven't figured out what to do with the changes that are probably happening like all the time with our bodies, with like the fact that they're full of plastic.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was interesting about this movie, and I don't know, maybe this is like a note that like a dumb executive would give, but I'm giving it as a question instead. I'm not watching it last night for the second time. I'm not 100% clear why in a world where people's bodies are changing and sort of taking it on themselves to produce new organs left and right, in a world where that's happening, I'm not sure why a body that can digest plastics is like a controversy. You know, that's like the one thing I was like, why would this be such a big deal?
I mean, it feels like an economic issue in the same way where it's like, why would an electric car or solar panels be bad? That sounds like a good thing.
It's anti-capitalist.
Because it's anti-capitalist, because there's plastic everywhere. The kid could just eat the trash can in his bathroom. Right. And does.
Oh, that's so interesting and smart. I didn't think of that. That's really smart.
That's been my take on it, is that it especially because of the like, you know, the groups around trying to like find this kid and like have a live autopsy of his body so they can prove that this is a thing, can demonstrate that like we are evolving, we are moving past this. And it also it feels so deeply rooted in current political discussions while being a like futuristic science fiction kind of setting, because they're talking about governments not being comfortable with human bodies evolving past what they currently view as being a quote unquote human body and things like that. And it feels deeply, deeply tied into capitalism, that the ability to no longer be stuck in the pain of this like dying capitalist society, they have the option to eat whatever you want to eat, the option to be able to digest what's being forced onto you, would then mean you would not be under the thumb of like having to order your breakfast chair and having to have the technicians come to your house to fix your specific bed because you're in this kind of pain.
Yeah.
It feels like a cheat code.
It's like this. I saw a quote recently, I don't know, from like an oil executive or somebody evil like that. That was basically like, the problem with solar power is that it's so easy to capture, that there's such an abundance of it that we don't know how to like divvy it out and monetize it. And it's like, they are so unironically saying something so evil and obvious. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of the energy of that.
Yeah. And that's
so interesting.
That's why I think that the tension between like being an artist and like some, you know, for Saul, like being an agent of the state directly, but like being an artist, you're participating in like the capitalist system in a lot of different ways, and like the art world sucks and is like basically just like laundering money for rich people. But you want to, you know, you're an artist, so you want to be talking about the world and observing the world and then like making a statement about it. But like, how deep can you go if the only thing you're doing is like something that the government thinks is okay? You know, like they're fine with what Saul is doing, but like if you take it one step further, it's not fine.
I love all of the conversations about art in this movie, pretentious as they may be. And I do think that they're pretentious, but in kind of a fun way. And so the question that my boyfriend and I had for each other last night watching this movie was, do you think that Saul is an artist, like a genuine artist? We disagreed on this, and the movie disagrees. Different characters feel different ways. So curious to hear both of your thoughts.
I mean, I think he's an artist, and I within the context of this movie's definition of art, in that his body is producing these organs with or without intention, but he is then intentionally displaying them as art, and he's putting his body in front of an audience as a canvas for his partner to perform live theater operations on. So I would say so, but I would also say that like having political motives and having political ideologies does not negate him from being an artist either. And actually that would even push him even further into being an artist. I don't know.
What do you think,
I
Kate?
definitely think he's an artist. Like in the sort of like contemporary like performance art landscape, like it's not necessarily like, I guess, what you do, but your conceptual premise of it, you know? You don't necessarily have to be like producing a thing, although he is producing organs.
Organs.
And like, you know, that's like the thing that the cop asks him, like, oh, I have this like, you know, weird protrusion.
On my abdomen.
Is that art? And it's like, well, it could be. It isn't just like right now, but like if you do something with it, it could be.
I love that scene so much because the cop being like, I got this. Is that art? It always feels like the classic like modern art gallery thing of like, my kid could have drawn that. And it's like, well, he didn't, and he'd be a lot richer if he did.
Exactly. I also love that his name is Cope.
I think it's
it's such a good name.
Yeah.
But it is a fair observation because his point later on is that Caprice is an artist, but that Saul is not, basically, right? Because she's taking his organs and making something out of them. She's the one who has the talent. She, you know, like she's the one who's actually making something and doing something. He's against, I mean, having nothing to do with his will, producing these organs. So I do think it is a debate that you can have, and that both sides of that debate make some interesting and valid points.
Or would you say that he's the artist and she's exploiting him?
I mean, maybe that's the art. Maybe that was the art the whole time. I don't know.
I've found that very interesting in the rewatch of this movie because it feels like an inversion on the like traditional heteronormative view of the like artist and muse kind of thing. Yeah. It's always a male artist and their female muse, and he's always going to push her too far, and he's always going to be like, I can't make my art without you, babe. I mean, it's the plot of Xanadu.
Yeah. I mean, even like the reversal of penetration, right? He's a cis male, she's a cis woman, and she's like penetrating him with all of these tools. I love when when Saul goes to see the bad art, which is the man with all of the ears.
One of the best scenes. As someone who has an MFA in studio art, I feel like the scene really affected me because it's like the amount of crazy, like, you know, bad, heavy quotations, like performance work you see in like undergrad and grad school as people are like finding their way, you know, and you're just like...
It strongly feels like Cronenberg commenting on people who... their only perception of him is his 80s output of like The Fly and Videodrome and stuff like that. But it also feels like him commenting on people who've kind of like knocked that work off over the years and use Cronenberg as like an adjective in like their pitch Bible. The way he's
including
like,
his own children, by the
way. Yeah, all three of them. And I like their work.
I do too.
But I just love the way that like the movie's like, look at this, shocking, and the marketing also leans on it, and then it immediately tracks back and turns to him, and he's like, those ears don't even work.
Yeah, the marketing. That's the part that's so amazing too, because it was like heavily featured in the trailers, so you think this is going to be this like, incredibly like cathartic thing, like, oh, people can grow ears all over their bodies now, and this guy's mouth is sewn up and whatever, and it's like, oh, it's so edgy. And then you watch the actual movie and it's like, oh my God, he's a better dancer than he is a conceptual artist. Like, those ears don't work. What is he saying?
It's such a heavy-handed metaphor. We get it.
Yeah, the audio track. It's time to stop speaking, stop looking, and to start hearing. Yes. And it's like, ugh, this is so cheesy.
And like, I know people who have sewn their mouths shut in like grad school before. Like, it's a thing that I get it. Like, I have made some crazy, like, edgy art that like I think is important to make. Like, you don't necessarily need everybody to see it, but like when you're trying to get there, like, I understand. And like a lot of that art,
well, in our world I think that's cooler. It's better art in our world because it hurts. In their world, people don't feel pain, so it really is nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah. So, and also like sewing ears onto you is nothing in this world because you can't feel pain, and that's a very surface level like sewing. Saul Tenser's doing actual fucking organ surgery. Like,
like, who cares if you have an ear on your face? Like, it doesn't matter. But one of the things I was wondering watching this movie again is like, they say that people don't feel pain, but like Saul seems like he is in constant pain and conflict with his body.
He does.
He does. He has like, he experiences pain like in his dreams and stuff like that, and he experiences discomfort. And people are always asking him, "What's it like?"
Yeah. There's also the way that, I mean, the surgeries to me in this movie look like, I don't know, like when a doctor numbs a part of you, but then they're working on it, and so you can feel the pressure of the thing, but you can't actually feel the pain of it. Or honestly, not to be too gross, but like when you are having sex and something is inside of you and it doesn't hurt, but you can still feel it, you know, it's like poking at things, you know, it's like, it feels like that.
They can definitely absolutely feel the things. They just don't feel the pain associated with that.
Which is so weird. I just started reading, or I actually just finished this book, Hurt So Good, which is by Lee Cowart, and it's like a book about different kinds of masochism. And I guess like I wrote this down because I thought it was really interesting. The International Association for the Study of Pain, which feels very Crimes of the Future. Like, they just redefined what pain means. That it's an unpleasant sensory experience associated with or resembling that associated with actual or potential tissue damage. So they don't talk about like whether it hurts or whether it's bad or whether it's like harmful. It's like pain is this incredibly like subjective feeling based on like how you grew up, how you experience the world. Like, it changes all the time. Sometimes you feel like, you know, the people who feel pain like associated with like a phantom limb, it's like that's not part of your body anymore. It's all like fully in your brain.
That stuff is so interesting to me. Like the fact that you know, sometimes it's harder for Black people in America to get pain medicine because for some reason doctors have this implicit bias that says that Black people can take more pain than white people do. And this is like studied and verified fact that an implicit bias, so meaning they're not even aware of it, that they're feeling this way, but white doctors are less likely to give pain medication to Black people than they are to white people, because on some subconscious level, they believe Black people can take more pain. Isn't that just so obviously awful, but just interesting too? Like, there are like cultural or gendered ideas, true or not, and sometimes I'm sure they are true, like women giving birth, like men don't experience pain like you know, cisgender men don't experience pain like that in their bodies. It's just interesting to me. That's
and like all. Pain is I just think it's so interesting that pain is like incredibly confusing and not necessarily associated with like the actual pain receptors in your body like sending signals. It's like sometimes it has nothing to do with anything. You feel like a sudden jolt of pain and you don't know why. And So yeah, like this time watching it, I thought a lot more about that because I was reading this book, and like the book is all about how subjective and complicated pain is.
Yeah.
Well, because this movie exists in a world that has evolved past the human beings being able to experience pain, do you think this movie is in support of pain or is critical? Do you think this movie is saying that we would be better without pain, or that we require pain to be human?
I think it's the latter. Because, you know, the movie says itself, like, pain has a purpose, which is to warn us, you know? And I think the fear of people being able to digest plastic, for instance, is, you know, they say it in the movie, is that they are no longer human, that pain is what makes us human. But I could be convinced otherwise. I'm not that smart.
I feel like it's kind of it might be both, or it might be...
It's a question rather than like an answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like a less adept director would be like, look at this, everyone's so fucking depraved now because like they don't feel pain, so the only way they can enjoy anything is like, you know, ripping their bodies apart. And like he doesn't ever, I don't feel like the camera ever like looks at what people are doing with a lot of judgment. It's like, this is interesting, like this is a new possibility.
If anything, it's filmed beautifully and sensually, and we know from David Cronenberg's whole career that on some level he thinks this sort of stuff is beautiful.
I know, I always wonder, like, is David Cronenberg like the freakiest like private man, or is he like incredibly normal? And
I know, I thought about that last night too. I was like, I know he's married, but like before he was married, if you're a girl who's going on a date with David Cronenberg, like, what exactly are you getting yourself into here?
Well, he's currently no longer married. His wife passed away, I think 5 years ago.
Which is also because his new movie, The Shrouds, that comes out in the fall, is like about grief. And so like it kind of continues, I think, the trajectory that he's on, like that like later part of his career where he's like, someone said that like his early career is his punk phase and this is his monk phase, which made me laugh.
Oh
really.
my god,
that's so brilliant. That's so true. I love it. That's exactly right. I love the aesthetic of this movie.
Gorgeous.
It was filmed in Greece. I am in a relationship with a classics PhD who speaks ancient Greek, and so it was really fun to watch it with him. He was like, "This is Sparta," which I never would have known, but all of the signs are in Greek. So I wonder if it's like actually set in Greece, or they're just using that old world aesthetic because everyone's speaking English, of course. But I like movies. I like science fiction movies that are set in the future, where everything looks old.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think you expect a movie to look like Battlestar Galactica or Star Wars, you know, where everything's white and shiny and plastic. But really, if you're thinking about the future, they're not just going to like rebuild everything. It's just going to be old buildings. I don't know. It just feels more grounded to me in a way, and it looks beautiful. I mean, talk about interior design. Some of these interior design aesthetics are really good.
The look of this movie is something that I deeply, deeply love. And I've seen people... So I have a lot of friends who are like big fans of Cronenberg in the 70s and 80s, but don't really interact with anything that he made post The Fly, which is unfortunate. And I feel like a lot of people, were expecting more body horror in that context out of this movie, which is not what this movie is, or is trying to do it, even in a little bit. But also we're kind of put off by the visual, both palette and style of this movie. But this, like, he's got this almost sepia brown patina to the production design and costume design and to the cinematography that's been there since Naked Lunch. It's there in Naked Lunch really strongly. It's there in Existenz really strongly. And it's kind of like, feel almost like the world and costumes around them is flesh toned.
Yeah.
And it really feels like something that he's been working through and working on since the early 90s. But I feel like, I don't know, audiences that are like expecting The Fly and The Brood that never saw Naked Lunch and Dead Ringers and like Maps to the Stars are going to be confused, to say the least.
There's a fashion designer named Rick Owens.
Yeah.
Who just basically only works in black and whites and sort of deconstructed hems and oversized simple silhouettes. And I actually think that a lot of the characters, Saul in particular, I think he's literally just wearing Rick Owens in this movie.
Yeah, I love the look of him. I love also just like the idea that like the future is like post-digital, or like maybe this world never had a digital present. Like, I don't know, but
yeah, like when people are filming the performance art, they're holding Super 8 cameras, like 1990s high 8 digital cameras. They're holding like all of these really old technologies in our world. So I thought that was an interesting
and
touch.
there's no like neon lighting, like none of that exists. It's all like warm.
Yeah.
Pray for that.
I know. It all looks so great in the lighting in Crimes of the Future.
I know. It's such a gorgeous.
All of their tools are analog too. There's no like sci-fi
There's
Bluetooth,
no laser knives. Oh, speaking of their tools, Drusilla, I was thinking last night, I think that this was something that you kind of came up with, or that we came up with together in our Dead Ringers episode, but the idea of Crimes of the Future as a sequel to Dead Ringers, but like 500 years after. So it's Beverly and Dead Ringers is creating these tools, and those tools have a very similar aesthetic to the tools in this movie. So you could extrapolate that to say that like that became this future. Like these are the tools that Beverly created in Dead Ringers like 500 years later or something.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like if you want to take the like MCU approach to all of the movies are connected. If you want to watch them in chronological order, you have to watch Naked Lunch first. That takes place in the 1950s, and then you go to 1980s Toronto and you watch Dead Ringers, and then you go to Crash in 1990s Toronto, and then you start moving to the future with Existence, and then you go even further to the future with Crimes of the Future.
I love that. That should be a film festival.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great
I would go.
Before we wrap up, I just want to know what everyone's favorite Cronenberg movie is. Mine, I'm actually one of the people that Drusilla mentioned. I like early Cronenberg the best. I'm a horror person, so I like his early work the best. My favorite is The Brood, because I think it's like a nice transitional film between his early stuff and his a little bit later stuff. And it's actually very scary, I think, like actually scary. But I do really love Crash. I really love Dead Ringers. I really love this movie. So I'm not a pure horror snob.
I will say The Brood is the one Cronenberg movie of all of them that made me actually heave.
It's really fucked up. And really scary.
The reveal of Samantha Eggar at the end of the movie. I was like 17 and watching it in like my basement, and I literally like had bile come up.
Nice.
It was upsetting.
We'll have to have you both on for The Brood, because we will get to it.
We would love to be on. Yeah, we would love to be on it.
I think my favorite is Crash, based on how, I guess, weirdly, that might be the first Cronenberg movie I ever saw. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, if you're like my age,
I am. So yeah.
That was the first one I was aware of because it came out in 1996. So I was a teenager. And so I saw trailers for it and, you know, stuff like that. So that was the first one that was kind of in my cultural awareness.
I think that must be it. And I was like, you know, a super edgy, artsy, weirdo teenager. And like, that's an extremely edgy, weirdo movie to watch, you know, that you're
like, you would rent VHSs and there'd be a trailer for Crash before whatever. Welcome to the Dollhouse or whatever you were.
Pretty much, yes. So that's probably, and like that's always been a favorite because I love a pervert movie, and like
me too.
I was more into that kind of movie before horror, and like the horror came later. So like then I would say
that's like Drew.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Then I actually rewatched what did I watch? Rabbit and Shivers recently.
love
and
both
I
of
love
those.
them both. Yeah, I love them both so much, and I really liked Rabbit a lot. Like watching it again.
Yeah.
So, maybe Rabbit and Crash. And honestly, this movie, like, I know that we are talking about it, but I love Crimes of the Future. It's so good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Drusilla?
I'm similarly split with Kate in that I can't pick a favorite, so I kind of go with two, and one is an older one and one is a 90s one. So my like kind of go-to answer is typically Shivers.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Shivers. I think Shivers is like criminally underrated. I have a Shivers poster over my kitchen table.
Just what you want to look at while you're eating pasta.
Well, I used to have it up in the bathroom because it's Barbara Steele in the bathtub screaming. And so I was like, okay, that's fitting. And then my girlfriend was like, this should be downstairs. It's beautiful. People should see it more often. And I was like, okay. I deeply love Shivers. I think Shivers is super fucked up. And I think it like is somewhere between exactly what we're talking about is like art house Crimes of the Future, Dead Ringers kind of stuff, and then H.G. Lewis. It definitely has a lot of blood feast to it in a really interesting way. I think it's also extremely horny. I think it has an outrageously good cast. I don't like zombie movies, and it kind of like inverts and plays with the concept of a zombie movie in a really interesting idea. I love the implications of the ending. I think it's a super fun movie. Yeah. It's also super queer right out the gate. Big fan of that one. And then the other one is Naked Lunch. I was one of the, I think Videodrome was the first one I saw. And then my library also had Naked Lunch. So I was like, I'll check this out. And I remember being so confused by it that I initially hated it. And then I had like a New York Times Best 1,000 Movies book, and I went through there, and it was in it, and I was like, what the fuck do you mean Best 1,000 Movies? How is this thing in there? And I read the review, and I was like, okay, and I still had it on loan from the library for another week, so I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and then I got really into William S. Burroughs, and I knew nothing about it, and like, it still holds a really special place in my heart. I love that movie so much. I do think Dead Ringers is his best movie, though. Is if you did the like Cahiers du Cinema, like had submit a list of the best movies ever made, I think Dead Ringers is the one of his that I would submit for that. I think it's his most like artistic achievement, but my favorites will always be Shivers and Naked Lunch.
I'll accept that answer. Well, listen, let's move on to Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie. I don't have anyone. Oh, I have somebody. I don't know. I do know why this person popped into my head. Obviously. Do you think President Joe Biden has seen Crimes of the Future?
Do you think he's also an old man?
Do you think that he took time out of his, day job of being the president to see Crimes of the Future?
A White House screening of Crimes of the Future? Ain't no way.
No, but I wish he did.
I don't know why. I think he has. I don't know why. I'm a progressive. I have my issues with Joe Biden. I don't know. My feeling just says that he has. Of course, he can't talk about it ever. But I feel like he would have seen it in the White House. Is that crazy of me? I think that he saw it in the White House.
It's very optimistic of you, I think.
I don't know why I feel that way because, I do recognize him and I do recognize his flaws, but it's just a weird feeling. I feel like he would get along with David Cronenberg too. Like, I feel like if they had dinner together, they'd really like each other.
I feel like he would like David as a person. I don't think David would like Joe Biden.
I wish David would spend more time with Joe Biden. Like maybe we'd get some interesting.
Maybe he could influence him.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't think that Joe Biden has seen Crimes of the Future, but I definitely think that Hunter Biden has seen Existence and Crash.
He's seen every Cronenberg movie.
I think Hunter Biden is living Existence and Crash.
Yes.
Hunter Biden's kind of an icon.
I love him.
And I love him. And I think, this is not a political podcast, but like the right's attempts to smear Joe Biden through Hunter Biden, I think are so useless because everybody has either dealt with addiction or has a loved one who has struggled with addiction. And it just feels like Hunter Biden's problems make Joe Biden more relatable in some, you know what I mean? I think it just is going to backfire for them. No one else is going to touch that. Let's move on. Drusilla, do you have anyone in mind?
There. First of all, we haven't even talked about my favorite part of Crimes of the Future this entire episode, which is the performance of Kristen Stewart.
Oh my God.
She's incredible.
Oh my God, incredible.
The weirdest little guy.
Breathy little.
I love her in this.
Discussion to everything, and it feels kind of like a deconstruction of her performance in Twilight a little bit. It's so fucking good. So my my question is, do you think that Kristen Stewart's co-star that she did a lot of that acting with and Twilight superstar Taylor Lautner has seen Crimes of the Future? The one of the 3 Twilight leads who hasn't done a Cronenberg movie.
I thought you were going to say Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
yeah, me too.
Obviously
I was like,
seen
he's
it.
been in Cronenberg.
Directed by his best bud and starring his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner. Oh boy.
Star of the British television series Cuckoo.
Taylor Lautner doesn't seem that smart to me. Does that mean? I don't really know anything about him except I've never seen those movies. I know that he was in those movies. I can see his face. He seems kind of gay, but I'm told he's not. I have vaguely negative feelings about him for some reason because I don't know anything about him other than he was in Twilight. Yeah. So I guess I abstain, but I would guess no.
I abstain.
We have to have a quorum.
Oh God, I don't think he's seen any Cronenberg movies.
I don't think he's seen it, but I think Kellen Lutz has seen this one. Of all the Twilight Coast,
which one is that?
He's another one of the Wolf Boys.
Oh, okay. I'm actually I'm watching all of Twilight right now, very slowly.
They're outrageously fun.
Yeah.
You know what? The single Twilight co-star other than Robert Pattinson who's absolutely seen this is Michael Sheen.
Oh yeah.
What
about Peter?
Michael Sheen's definitely
in Twilight.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Peter Facinelli?
He's the big bad. Oh, maybe
from Can Hardly Wait.
Well,
yeah, I think so. He seems like a smart, cool guy.
What about Anna Kendrick or Rami Malek?
Anna Kendrick,
Rami Malek,
no.
yes. Anna Kendrick, no.
That's it. Exactly, that's it.
I grew up in rural Washington, Kate, and Forks is the town where I got my driver's license. It's like 45 minutes away from my town. It's nothing. It's a logging town with nothing but a diner there. And so I've never been back post-Twilight, so I'm curious what it's like now. Like,
I've
heard there's lots of tourism and people go to that diner.
Yeah.
It's like Twin Peaks, like the Twin Peaks thing that people do, but that's way cooler.
I had my prom at the same place where the kids in Twilight have their prom, which is called Kayana Lodge in Suquamish, which is also the Martell's house in Twin Peaks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. So you could go on a...
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, you could go on a Twin Peaks Twilight tour. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Of that one place.
Yeah.
Just one location.
You should see the movies, Josh. I think they're fun. You know what? One day we'll have to do an episode where we cover all 5 films and Josh is just going to have to deal.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. They're not good.
It's a lot to talk about.
But there's a lot.
They are directed by prestigious filmmakers, too.
Okay, well, we're supposed to be a show about art house movies, but that's okay. Kate, do you have anyone in mind for Have They Seen It?
I was going to say Charlie XCX, but I feel like that's a pretty clear yes.
I mean, she did an entire album like riffing on Crash.
So what about Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Her arch nemesis.
No.
Ain't no way.
We are not a political podcast, but we are firmly anti-Taylor Swift on this podcast. I hate her guts. I hate her fans. If you're listening, don't.
Oh my God.
We don't want you. We don't need you. We bind you. We rebuke you.
I will say, Taylor Swift's current opening act is Paramore, and who I love, and I do think Hayley Williams has seen
crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy to me. That makes no sense.
That is crazy news.
I do not like that.
These people are so demented. They act like Taylor Swift invented autumn, like she invented cottages. There's like a dozen female artists that are doing a similar thing that are better than her, that aren't nearly as famous. I just don't get it on any level. I think she's a mean person. I think her fans are insane and just like torture people and bully people. I think her whole thing sucks. I hate her guts.
Wow. Well, I saw a video of the Charlie XCX show in Brooklyn. People were chanting "Death to Taylor Swift."
Can't blame them.
It was amazing.
I do love Charlie XCX. Love Brad. I'm a big fan of Charlie XCX. I'm definitely on a side.
Oh, same. Yeah.
I love Chapel Rowan more than any of them.
Oh yeah, she's lovely. Or they're lovely. I don't know what their pronouns are.
I think it's she. My girlfriend worked with her.
Oh, cool.
She styled her.
Yeah.
She seems great. I'm glad that she's like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard blowing up that fast. Like she seems like she's having a hard time.
Yeah.
But like she's great.
I love her. Well, listen, thank you for listening to this episode of podcast. I almost said, thank you for listening to podcast.
Thank you for listening to podcast.
What if our show was called Podcast?
That would be so amazing.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Bloodhaus. You can follow us on X or Instagram. You can email us at bloodhausepod@gmail.com, even though, to be totally honest, I've lost access to that email account.
Josh!
I know.
I have the password if you need it. What's wrong with you?
Okay, send it to me. Kate, thank you so much for being on. Where can people follow you?
Thank you. This was so fun. Yeah, don't follow me if you're a Swiftie. I don't want to hear from you. You can follow me at Kayte Terry, and I'm going to spell that because it's really hard. It always sounds like I'm saying Katy Perry, and that's not me. KayteTerry on the horrible Twitter that I cannot escape. Or my podcast is Tender_Subject or Tender Subject Pod on Instagram. And we've expanded into body horror now, so we're doing all the Cronenberg movies as well. Yeah. And I make a collage for every episode.
They're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm often very behind the deadline that I set for myself, but it's my deadline, so it's fine.
Drusilla, how about you?
You can find my work over at sisterhidedesign.com. I think I've already plugged other recent stuff that's up there, but I think by the time this episode comes out, Bound should be out, so go buy Bound. That's exciting.
Oh my God, so exciting.
If you're listening to a podcast about a Cronenberg thing, you're probably some flavor of a gay, so go watch Bound. You can also follow me on Letterboxd. If you look for Drusilla Adeline or Sister Hyde, you can follow me over there. And you can see what I thought of anyone but you. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you look for Hyde Sister. And Josh, what about you? How can people follow your plastic eating habits?
I am at Joshua Conkel on where am I? Blue Sky, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I am trying to cut back on my plastics, but we are watching exactly. We are watching something very cool and very old next week. What is it?
I finally got us to do an old one again. Oh yes. To quote Tim Robinson, if you don't like old stuff, don't come. We will be going super art house with this one, with a super art house European filmmaker, widely regarded as the director of one of the most important art house films of all time. That film is not the one we're talking about. That film is Passion of Joan of Arc. We're not doing that, but we're doing another film from Carl Theodor Dreyer. And it's two of my favorite things. It's early sound cinema, it's experimental cinema, and it's vampires. So we'll be watching the adaptation of Carmilla, known as Vampyr.
Can't
Amazing.
wait. Thank you. Bye-bye.